Skyla is going to be on the single life. Let that sink in as I read what is explained below. Now, I will say this, what is explained doesn't necessarily give us more information regarding Skyla being on the single life, but more regarding Angela Deem being a part of the single life. So apparently next season, TLC is going to have Skyla on the single life. And I feel like they're going to have Angela making appearances. I mean, listen, let's be real. Why would Angela not make appearances if her daughter's going to be on TV? Because Angela will use anyone to stay relevant. TLC has shown no signs they are firing Angela, and Angela said on live last week she is still employed by TLC. You know, it's crazy because when Angela says certain things, it is hard for us to want to believe it. But then sometimes when it comes to TLC, well, it's also easy for us to also believe that Angela will still be a part of it, and that is the annoyingness that we have around Angela and the TLC relationship. What's it gonna take for them to let her go? Not only is she abusive in every way, she's obviously recently become a drug addict. That is a massive accusation there, and alcoholic. Now I'm gonna say it's not true. I'm just throwing out that this is an accusation to cover myself. Now, also on top of this, person continues by saying she's always has black eyes and marks and scratches in her face, hands and arms, obviously from falling down. I'm not too sure where that falling down part comes from, but okay, let's continue. And maybe maybe being held back from attacking people. Now that statement I can believe. If true, I can believe, because Angela has a tendency to always be in people's faces and people have to generally hold her back. So yes, that's something that I can believe. What, everyone has to hold her back apart from the TLC crew members, from what we have seen anyway. I used to get the same way as a teenager when I get drunk. I'd start off fun and end up wanting to fight and cuss the whole room and anyone I got on the phone with is why I don't drink anymore. Haven't for years. So I see obviously this person relaying her past relationship with alcohol, and obviously the way she behaved with Angela, which is fair, you know, but sometimes we have to go through certain things to understand why somebody else may be behaving the way they are behaving. So I can understand why this person would use that as an example. She, on the other hand, doesn't seem to care, which is true. She mentally and physically unwell. And not only are they allowing her to abuse, you can see at this point, they are also exploiting an unwell addict for profit. Oh boy, that is a strong line right there. Let me know your thoughts on that line, because that line is quite powerful. Anyone with eyes can see Angela has become an addict. Now again, listen, anyone with eyes can definitely see that, but again, this is all alleged. Now, obviously, when it comes to the caption itself in particular, who in their right mind would want to date anyone in the nano shark infested Dean bloodline? Yuck. They did have her on the tell-all with her boobies on full display. And she's still gross though. Anyways, we will discuss more on our next Tuesday's Twitter Space Live. Okay, cool. All right, listen, at the end of the day, I mean, all I can say is this: if they are really going to plan on bringing Skyla on for the single life, I am going to say it is not for the benefit of Skyla being on the single life. I'm going to say it is going to be for an excuse to have Angela still appear on 90 Day Fiancé. Because in the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense why, after all these years, now Skyla all of a sudden is going to appear on a spin-off of 90 Day. Why is it taking so long, you know? Why is it taking this so long? So I think personally, because the relationship with Michael Angela is now finally finished, they obviously need a purpose to still keep it on the show, because, well, Angela still brings in those hate views, and hate views are way much more than like views. So really and truly, I believe that that's why they still have it here. I mean, listen, look at it this way, right? We've seen it happen with other people, you know, whether that be a Jamal coming back on and therefore his mum may appear here and there possibly, which I don't think I've seen Kimberly appear, to be fair, on a Jamal storyline, to be fair. So with that being said, let me move on to another example. For example, you've got Veronica, who obviously came back on, obviously after being introduced as Tim's ex-wife, aka best friend, which is very, very interesting. You know what I mean? And it's something that we've definitely seen with Chantel. Obviously, even though her relationship has now been over with Pedro, they've definitely brought her back. Obviously, they haven't brought back none of her siblings per se, but they definitely brought her back to be part of that season stuff in particular. And obviously, there's rumors about Gina also being a part of Single Life as well, which is quite interesting. And I think this rumor is that he's going to be a part of it after The Last Resort, when he finally appears with Jasmine for the last time, apparently. So reading into it, but these are things that usually happen quite quickly, like John coming back for the Single Life, you know, so soon, given the fact that for John coming back on the Single Life, also, you know, he came back quite quickly. So my point is, usually speaking, when people come back for the Single Life, and Natalie's another person, usually it's quite quick, you know, after their own storyline has been, after either they've been part of someone else's storyline, or after their storyline has ended with an ex-person. With Angela and her daughter now, I just find it very interesting how her daughter, after God knows how many years of them being on the show, all of a sudden, she's not going to be a part of it. You know what I mean? So I think personally, this is a cue to literally allow Angela to still be on TV, because they all know that whenever she's going to appear on TV, it is going to be nothing but explosive. Whether it's her story and her daughter's, Angela will always make it about herself. And it also give Angela the excuse to also appear at the Single Life tell as well. But nonetheless, though, that's just my thoughts on this information here. Let me know your thoughts and we can most talk about it. But I do want to say this: remove Angela completely out of the picture. Completely out of the picture. Would you want to see Skyla part of the Single Life if it did not involve Angela D making any appearances? Now that's a question right there. Let me know your thoughts, and yeah, we can talk about it. I think for me personally, I would like to see Skyla on Single Life if it involved no Angela at all, because I'll be interested to see how she behaves, and then I'll be able to see the comparisons, the similarities she may have with her own mother. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes we have to look at someone's parents or someone's child to see where it falls in the family tree. You know what I mean? How the generations pass on potential attitude of grotesque madness. You see what I'm saying? So for me personally, I would just like to see it for my own, you know, to see how Angela has basically raised her kids, how she's influenced them. And also on top of that, we may even get insight on also how, you know, those kids are raised as well, if you know what I mean. So I would be down to watch Skyla in that aspect. I'm not saying I wouldn't watch with Angela there, but you know, it is what it is. Nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.